My beloved child, you have just passed through a rare series of trials without allowing adversity to break your will. And that perseverance has opened the way for a profound transition in your life. I want you to pause and recognize this, not so that you will exalt yourself in pride, but so that you will stop underestimating the strength that has been forged through the months behind you. You may still see yourself as someone merely trying to survive one day at a time. But I see a person who matured under pressure, learned how to rise in silence, and walked through places that once made you believe you no longer possessed the strength to continue. 9 trials came in different forms, each touching a hidden place upon which you once depended. Yet none of them could take away your belief that your life still carries a meaning greater than what your eyes can presently see. You did not overcome because you were always strong, nor because you never cried, felt confused, or wanted to surrender. You overcame because even in your weakest moments, you refused to allow pain to write the ending of your story. The first door closed before you, like a declaration that you were not good enough, talented enough, or worthy enough to enter the place you had long desired. That rejection once caused you to examine yourself so harshly that you began to question even the good things I had placed within you. Yet, instead of allowing one human decision to define your entire worth, you quietly gathered your courage and continued walking. You began to understand that a closed door does not always mean you have been rejected. Sometimes it is the way you are kept from entering a room too small for your future. What once brought shame gradually became a lesson in dignity. You stopped begging to be accepted in places that could not recognize your value. And through this, I taught you how to stand upright without needing everyone's approval. Then financial pressure arrived, causing numbers to become a constant noise within your mind. You looked at the needs before you and could not see where help would come from. At times, fear attempted to push you into impulsive decisions. Yet you continued trying to remain clear-minded, doing what needed to be done and refusing to allow lack to take away your integrity. During that season, you learned to distinguish genuine need from the urgency produced by panic. You learned to value small things, rearrange your priorities, and understand that wealth is not measured only by what is presently in your hands. Pressure did not diminish you, it made you wiser, more careful, and more grateful in the way you used what had been entrusted to you. Afterward, the wound caused by someone you once trusted appeared like an unexpected cut. What hurt you was not only their action, but also the way the good memories suddenly became difficult to understand. You once wanted to lock every inner door so that no one could ever reach you again. Yet you refused to allow one person's wrongdoing to make you bitter toward everyone. You learned how to forgive without denying the truth, how to release someone without returning to the place that caused pain, and how to understand that opening your heart does not mean granting access to everyone. You preserved gentleness without remaining naive. You kept compassion while learning to establish boundaries. This was a quiet victory few people could see, because remaining kind after betrayal requires greater courage than closing yourself and becoming cold. When every prayer seemed to meet only silence, you entered another trial, continuing to trust without clear evidence. You wondered whether I was still near and whether your sighs were being heard. Even so, you continued coming to me, sometimes with imperfect words, and sometimes only through silent presence. That persistence deepened your faith beyond temporary emotion. You began to learn that silence is not absence, and that not yet receiving an answer does not mean you have been forgotten. There are things I cannot place in your hands at the moment you ask, because I must first prepare you to receive them without losing yourself. While you thought nothing was happening, I was changing the foundation within you so that your trust would no longer depend entirely upon favorable circumstances. The trial that nearly exhausted you most was prolonged delay. You worked, waited, prepared, and hoped many times. Yet everything still appeared to be held behind an invisible wall. You watched others advance and found it difficult not to feel left behind. Yet what you called standing still was actually a season of positioning. Had the door opened earlier, you might have entered with a heart too easily shaken, a life not yet disciplined enough, or an ambition still controlled by the desire to prove yourself. Delay forced you to develop endurance, work even without recognition, and discover joy in the process instead of living only for results. I was not withholding what was good from you. I was making your shoulders strong enough to carry it. Next, your integrity was tested in places where no one was watching. You had opportunities to choose a shorter path, say something that was not entirely true, or act in the way others commonly acted to gain an immediate advantage. No one might have known, and perhaps you could have found enough reasons to justify it. Yet you still chose to keep your heart clean, even though that choice cost you time or brought temporary disadvantage. It was there that your character was established. A person is not defined by the image they display before a crowd, but by what they do when they believe no one can see. You chose lasting values over immediate convenience, and that decision placed you upon a foundation that future success will not easily shake. Loneliness then caused you to feel like a stranger, even among familiar faces. You could not fully explain what was happening within you because those around you had never walked the same road. At times, you wanted to blend into the crowd simply to lessen the feeling of being out of place. Yet you ultimately held on to what you knew was right. You learned not to betray yourself merely to belong somewhere. That separation was not intended to remove you from everyone, but to help you hear the inner voice that had previously been covered by noise. You discovered that being alone does not always mean being abandoned. Sometimes it is the necessary room in which you learn who you truly are, what you believe, and which path you are no longer willing to compromise. Then the supports you once knew began to change, one after another. Certain relationships were no longer the same. Plans that appeared secure suddenly fell apart, and some things you believed would last forever proved to belong only to a particular season. That movement confused you, but it also helped you realize that your foundation could not rest entirely upon people, circumstances, or anything visible. You learned how to stand when the things that once supported you were no longer there. You understood that true security does not come from everything always remaining stable, but from the ability to preserve peace in the midst of change. What departed left empty spaces. Yet those spaces also became the place where you discovered a strength no one could take from you. Finally, you entered the last trial, surrendering control. You were accustomed to calculating every step, attempting to guarantee every result, and trying to keep everything moving according to your plan. But there came a moment when you realized that the more tightly you held on, the more exhausted you became. You could not force a door to open, compel another person to change, or make everything happen according to your preferred schedule. When you released your grip, you did not abandon responsibility. You simply stopped assuming that every result had to be created through your own strength. You continued doing what was within your ability, while entrusting to me what was beyond your control. That surrender did not weaken you. On the contrary, it released you from the burden of believing you had to keep the entire world from falling apart by yourself. My beloved child, you are no longer the person who first entered those 9 trials. Every closed door taught you about worth. Every shortage taught you wisdom. Every betrayal taught you boundaries. And every silent season deepened your trust. Delay gave you endurance. Hidden choices formed integrity. Loneliness helped you recognize yourself. Loss returned you to a firm foundation. And surrender opened your hands to receive something new. Do not quickly return to your former way of living merely because the trials have begun to ease. Continue forward as the person who has been refined, humble without despising yourself, gentle without being easily manipulated, steadfast without becoming rigid. What is coming may be greater than anything you have carried before, but you have been prepared to receive it without losing your peace. The season behind you will not define you through pain. It will be remembered as the place where you discovered that even after being tested many times, the light within you refused to go out. You must understand that in certain seasons, silence is not emptiness, but the garment I use to protect a blessing before it becomes strong enough to stand in the light. Some things, if spoken too early, attract unnecessary attention, uninformed opinions, and pressures that may cause you to lose your original focus. Therefore, I am teaching you to preserve a portion of your joy in a hidden place, not because you must live in fear, but because what is precious should be nurtured through gratitude before being shared with the world. When you do not rush to tell everyone about every change taking place, your heart has time to become steady. Your thoughts have the opportunity to become clear, and each step is preserved in peace instead of being controlled by the desire for attention. You do not need to explain every newly opened door or announce everything I have placed in your hands. Allow the journey to continue unfolding slowly, because what is lasting often grows in silence before revealing itself through results. There is profound beauty in the life of someone who can receive goodness without immediately running to seek approval. Such a person does not need applause to confirm that they are loved, nor the praise of the crowd to believe that what they possess is valuable. Their joy rests upon a foundation that does not change according to the attitudes of others. So it does not rise when they are celebrated and collapse when they are forgotten. I want you to enter that freedom, where you can smile without needing anyone to know the reason. Give thanks without turning gratitude into a performance, and receive a blessing without immediately using it to prove that you have succeeded. When your identity is established in me, you will no longer give praise or indifference the authority to determine your worth. You will understand that what truly belongs to you does not become greater because many people see it, nor does it become smaller because it is being kept in a hidden place. Provision arriving at the right time is never intended only to make you more comfortable. Some resources are given in answer to seasons when you prayed faithfully without seeing any movement. Certain financial opportunities appear so that a family may be released from years of fearing tomorrow. So children may study with greater stability. Long-standing debts may be resolved, and a home may no longer be covered by tension. There are also forms of abundance placed into your hands, not so that you will keep everything for yourself, but so that compassion may travel farther. Timely help can keep someone from despair. A gift offered privately may help another person begin again, and a door you open may become an escape for someone suffering in silence. Therefore, when money comes, do not only ask what it can buy for you, ask what it can heal, what it can build, and what goodness it can plant in the lives of others. Yet as blessing begins to increase, you must keep your heart humble. Abundance is not permission for self-exaltation, nor a reason to look upon those who struggle with distance or contempt. I want gratitude within you to become stronger than pride, faith stronger than fear of loss, and humility stronger than the temptation to prove how far you have come. Remember the days when you had to calculate every small expense, the moments when one piece of good news was enough to help you continue, and the seasons when you possessed nothing except the belief that tomorrow could be different. Those memories are not meant to keep you in fear, but to prevent you from forgetting the mercy that lifted you. When you remember how you were helped, you will know how to help others without making them feel ashamed. When you remember your own vulnerability, you will not use present success to place yourself above anyone else. A truly mature person continues to walk gently when circumstances begin to change. Their voice does not become harsh merely because they receive more authority. Their heart does not become hard because they possess more choices. And their treatment of others does not change according to the amount of money in their hands. I want you to preserve gentleness even when you no longer live in lack. Maintain kindness even when more people begin seeking you. And continue listening even when your words carry greater influence. Blessing should not turn you into a stranger to yourself. It should reveal the good qualities that were refined through difficult seasons. If increase causes you to lose compassion, then you have not yet understood the purpose of increase. What I give is not only intended to improve your standard of living, but also to expand your ability to love, protect, and build. I often entrust greater things to those who learn to value very small ones. Someone who gives thanks for a simple meal will not easily despise days of abundance. Someone who manages a small amount honestly possesses a foundation for managing more without being controlled by greed. Someone who shares while having little will not suddenly close their hands when more is given. Therefore, do not underestimate the hidden lessons you experienced. The way you use a small amount, keep a promise, and treat someone who cannot benefit you are all signs of how ready you have become. Before a great river can flow, the ground must possess a channel deep enough to prevent the water from overflowing and destroying everything around it. In the same way, humility and wisdom are the channels that keep blessing moving in the right direction. The path of one who has been chosen is rarely a path of constantly displaying every achievement. It is often a quiet road where gratitude grows in secret and wisdom directs every decision. You do not need to explain to everyone why you are changing, nor must you let everyone know what you are preparing for. Allow consistency to speak for you. The way you live will become an answer to those who once doubted. But you do not need to turn your life into an argument designed to defeat them. If you are given a better home, preserve it with peace. If your work is expanded, manage it with fairness. If your finances increase, use them wisely. Every blessing managed properly becomes quiet evidence that you not only know how to receive, but also how to carry. As wisdom settles deeply within you, life will no longer resemble a race to impress others. The need to prove that you are happy wealthy, or successful will gradually fade because you will recognize that peace needs no audience. You will no longer compare every step with the progress of others, rush to purchase something merely for recognition, or feel like a failure when someone else advances more quickly. You will begin to understand that public attention can arrive and disappear rapidly, but the peace I place within your heart will preserve you through seasons when no one applauds. Quiet gratitude will become stronger than noisy celebrations because it does not depend upon ideal circumstances. It helps you recognize beauty in simple things, keeps you clear-minded when life is favorable, and prevents you from becoming enslaved to what you possess. Therefore, my beloved child, allow silence to protect what is growing within your life. Do not quickly give every observer access to the place where I am working, and do not turn every gift into evidence intended to convince someone of your worth. You possessed worth before the blessing appeared, and you still possess worth even when no one can see what I am giving. Keep your voice calm, your heart tender, and your hands open. When you receive more, ask for greater wisdom. When you enter stability, remember those who are still struggling. When life changes in a beautiful direction, do not forget the storms that taught you to cling closely to me. The greatest blessing is not only what is placed into your hands, but that you still preserve humility, peace, and gratitude after everything you once prayed for begins to become reality. Listen deeply. What I am preparing to bring into your life is closely connected to the trials you have just endured, and the change that is about to appear will reflect the depth of the endurance you quietly demonstrated. No pressure you carried was entirely meaningless, and no difficult season came only to exhaust you. There were times when I allowed you to pass through narrow places not because I desired to see you suffer, but because old limitations within you had to be expanded so that you could contain greater responsibility, grace, and opportunity. You once felt pressed from every side, as though there were no room left to breathe. Yet it was during those days that your steadfastness, patience, and ability to remain standing were formed. You were not crushed beneath the weight. You were being strengthened. Like a precious stone whose beauty is revealed only after passing through hidden layers of pressure no one else can see. The next 90 days will carry a different rhythm from the 90 days you have just passed through. Not necessarily because every circumstance will change immediately, but because the direction of movement is no longer the same. Things that once remained stuck will begin to show signs of progress. Doors that seemed completely locked will gradually reveal lines of light, and matters you once considered too distant will begin to feel nearer and more realistic. I am not asking you to build your hope upon instant change and then become disappointed if everything is not completed overnight. I am teaching you to recognize the first signs of a new season, an unexpected conversation that moves in your favor, information arriving at the right time and helping you see the next step, an invitation coming from a place you never searched, or a long-standing problem suddenly revealing a solution you could not see before. These small things will resemble the first drops of rain, announcing that dry ground is beginning to receive new life. However, do not run ahead of my guidance merely because you see the first signs. A season of movement requires as much discernment as a season of waiting required patience. When opportunities come, observe carefully, pray, consider, and proceed with wisdom. Not every open door is intended for you. and not every attractive invitation agrees with the purpose I have placed upon your life. The maturity you have gained will help you stop rushing into everything out of fear that you may miss something. You will understand that what truly belongs to you will not require you to sacrifice peace, dignity, or good principles in order to obtain it. I am moving you from a state of desperately searching for any escape into the position of someone able to calmly choose what is right. This is an important part of the inward renewal you may not yet fully recognize. Those around you will begin to sense that something within you has changed. Even if they cannot name it precisely, they may notice greater steadiness in your voice, greater calm in your responses, or an absence of the hesitation that once appeared in your eyes. Some will ask, what happened? Why you are no longer easily shaken by words that once wounded you? Or how you can move through pressure without panicking. You do not need to explain your entire journey to everyone. Some things can only be understood by those who truly walked beside you. And some transformations require no verbal proof. Allow the way you live, face difficulty, and use new opportunities to become the clearest answer. You do not need to boast about what I am doing. Humble stability will speak more powerfully than any declaration. During this season, the relationships around you will also be rearranged. Certain people who once became distant may unexpectedly return with a more mature attitude, willing to communicate, repair what was damaged, and rebuild what had been abandoned. At the same time, some who were once very close may gradually become unfamiliar, not necessarily because of a major conflict, but because their journey no longer agrees with your new direction. Do not immediately interpret every departure as loss or betrayal. Some connections are appropriate only for a particular season. When their purpose has been fulfilled, releasing them in peace may be better than attempting to preserve something that no longer possesses life. I am teaching you to love without possessing, to appreciate what once existed, and still possess enough courage not to drag former things into a future where they no longer belong. Every space that is created will become room for something more suitable to appear. When someone leaves a position no longer intended for them, do not immediately fill the emptiness merely because you are uncomfortable with being alone. Allow the silence to complete its work. Certain spaces are created so that you can rest, reflect, and recognize what kind of companionship you truly need. I am not removing everyone from your life, but I will help you see clearly the relationships that existed only through dependence, exploitation, or fear of abandonment. The right people will not ask you to diminish your purpose so that they can remain comfortable, nor will they appear only when you have something to offer. They will know how to respect your journey, encourage what is good, and speak truth sincerely when you need correction. Along with this rearrangement, your discernment will become increasingly clear. Situations that once caused you to spend many days overthinking will no longer paralyze you so easily. You will recognize where you should open your heart, where you need to maintain distance, which invitation deserves consideration, and what must be refused even when it appears attractive. This clarity is not born from knowing everything, but from lessons for which you paid a price. You trusted the wrong people, acted too quickly, ignored small warnings because you wanted a beautiful result, and doubted yourself even when something within you sensed that all was not well. Now those experiences are no longer merely painful memories. They have become wisdom that helps you walk with greater stability. The fire you passed through did not destroy your ability to see. it purified your vision. Your inner capacity has also been expanded in ways that cannot yet be measured by your present emotions. What once caused you to collapse may now merely slow you down for a short time before you continue. Responsibilities that once frightened you will become manageable as you learn to set priorities. Establish limits, and stop attempting to carry everything alone. The former version of you believed strength meant never resting, never admitting weariness, and never asking for help. But the person you are becoming is learning that true strength also involves knowing when to pause, when to share responsibility, and when to protect your peace. I am not raising you only to watch you exhaust yourself again in a new position. I am giving you both the ability to receive and the wisdom to manage. You are no longer the person you were 90 days ago. Even though your face remains the same and your outward circumstances may not yet fully reflect the change, walls have fallen within you. False beliefs have been removed, and fears no longer possess the authority they once held. You learned how to survive without losing kindness, endure pressure while keeping integrity, and continue walking even without the recognition you desired. These things have made you more trustworthy with new opportunities. I am not merely changing circumstances to make you happy for a moment. I have changed the structure within you so that you will not destroy what is good when it approaches. Therefore, enter the coming season with confidence but not pride, with hope but not haste, and with gratitude without losing discernment. You do not need to prove your worth by working until you are exhausted or forcing everyone to acknowledge your transformation. Remain faithful in small things. Keep your word in daily responsibilities, and allow each door to open at the proper time. Before long, the changes within you will begin to be reflected through your choices, relationships, work, and the way you carry yourself before life. Then you will understand that pressure was not the end. It was the place where I strengthened you enough to enter something wider without losing your peace. What you passed through did not destroy you. It prepared you to receive, preserve, and use wisely what is now making its way toward you.